saving on the cloud. There you go. Recording in progress.
Okay,
and
perfect.
We are live, people. We are recording. So we'll be going live to the audience in about 5 minutes, and Jeff will do then an introduction. Is that right, Jeff?
Sure, I can do that.
Excellent.
How are you, Jeff, today?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. Having some coffee now.
Nice.
The afternoon coffee, not the morning coffee.
There you go.
Just for the recording purpose, this is Rubi Tools Team USA getting ready for the showcase of our tools with and sponsored by our friends from EJ Welch. Our presenter, Hector Martinez, with great experience on the technical side of Rubi tools, will be ready to answer all of your questions.
All right, we got 10 o'clock Central Time and 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Jeff, you want to go ahead and introduce, and we'll get this thing started?
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today. My name is Jeff Crenshaw. I am the Digital Marketing Specialist for EJ Welch. Today, we are going to highlight a bunch of awesome new Rubi tools that Hector will be going through. And if anybody has any questions afterwards, Hector will be glad to take those. But thanks again for joining, everyone. And Hector, I'll leave it to you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Hector. I got 18 years of installation experience. I've been with Rubi now for about 4.5 years. I am the lead product manager technician over at Rubi, and I'm going to explain to you, give you a refresher on our gauge tools, our leveling system, and what's to come here at Rubi. Before we get started, though, I want to play a little video. As you may or may not know, Rubi invented the first tile cutter in 1951, which is 70 years ago today. So we're celebrating the 70-year anniversary of Rubi tools. And here's a little video showing some of our products, but also some of our new branding. We are totally trying to rebrand ourselves and make ourselves more marketable, more user-friendly. All right. We want to have a system out there that helps create a numerical system that lets you know what step of progress you are. Here we are. Well, number 1 is prepare, 2 is cut and drill, 3 is set, 4 is grout, 5 is clean. So if you look at on our packaging, you'll be able to see what step that you are in the process. Okay, we're in more than 120 countries. We do manufacture in our Barcelona headquarter plants. All right, and if for those who don't know, the name Rubi comes from the city where we invented the first ever tile cutter, and that's Rubi, Spain, just outside of Barcelona. All right, leveling system. Oh, sorry. I mean, our Rubi slab system, sorry. I'm gonna give you guys a refresher on our slab system. It's been pretty popular over the last year and a half since we launched a full slab system. Okay, what is it used for? What are gauge porcelain slabs used for? Well, here we have a couple examples. You can go on the facade, which is on the side of a building, up on a high rise or a condo, but also inside. You can use it inside, whether 6 to 8 millimeter, which is used on the floor, the 3 to 4 millimeter, which you can use to put on the side of a countertop, the side, or you can use for cladding on your walls. In this case, we have it on our oven and our beautiful countertop, but also the 12 millimeter, which goes on top as your counter. How do these materials get to the job site? Well, they come in a wooden crate or vertical in kind of like an A-frame, all right? So we want to make sure that we can manipulate this and get this to our on-site fabrication. How do we get there? We have two systems. The first one is the Slim Easy Trans, okay? The Slim Easy Trans goes up to 10 feet. As little as, and it shrinks down as little as 3 feet. The maximum load capacity is 132 pounds, okay? Sold separately, but a new accessory for it is the true crossbars that give it better rigidity and help with the load capacity, meaning since we now added those two crossbars, any two suction cups that we add to the Slim Easy Trans, we're able to get to increase the weight that it can carry. The maximum is 10 suction cups. We can add a total of 10 total to the two rails, and that'll increase it to about 240 pounds. Okay, the handles are easily adjustable to where you need them to fit to make it ideal for you and give you that comfortability. Okay. Next up, we have the Slab Trans Heavy Duty, which takes 6 8-inch vacuum suction cups, okay? Each vacuum suction cup does hold about 243 pounds, but the total that this Slab Trans Heavy Duty can carry is 310 pounds. Now you're asking yourself, that doesn't add up. Well, it's not that the suction cups can't hold the weight, it's the load capacity actually comes from the system itself, the frame of the system. So it can hold up to 310 pounds. Again, this is good for everything from 3 feet up to 10 feet. It does have the two crossbars that come with it for the rigidity. Okay, and like I said, gives it the load capacity. And we'll get into why those two crossbars come into play for our slab system. But we'll talk about more on the positioning of the handles. There's two different positions for the handles on the Slab Trans, okay? It's just what's more comfortable for you. Position A, as you can see, they're kind of inverted outwards. So it gives you one set of handles to make it more comfortable for you. In my professional opinion, this is what gives me the most comfortability. But for others, position 2, they're kind of inverted inwards. That also can give you more comfortability. I've tried both of them. I like position A1 myself, but to each their own. Just know that you can position it however you want to. Now, when we're going up a vertical wall for vertical installation, these handles can move inward on the rail so that it's so when you put your tile down onto the Slab Trans Heavy Duty, the tile can be positioned right before the bumpers. Okay, so you move the handles inside, the tile will be right at the bumper, and the bumper will actually hit the floor, and that way you can install your tile going vertically. But in order to do so, like I said, we must move the handles from position A to position B, just slide those inwards. Now, They work on a T-locking mechanism, so it's totally toolless. You just twist the knobs, it'll loosen it up. You slide the handles in, and you tighten them down by tightening the knobs. Vacuum suction cups. The vacuum suction cups that come with the Slab Trans Heavy Duty is this same that we have in singles. Okay, it's an 8-inch vacuum suction cup. For those of us that are old enough to remember the Reebok pumps, that's how we get that suction from the suction cup to your material. We just kind of pump it. You'll see a red line highlighted. See if you can see my mouse. Red line here. That's an indicator. When that red line disappears, we know we've got a good seal between our material and our vacuum suction cup. Okay. Now the single vacuum suction cup comes with a plastic lid and it comes in the plastic case. We are still Rubi. We still like to make our products come in cases, so you do get a case for your suction cup. Now to release the air, there's a tab over here that you press in. It'll release the air, and if that doesn't release, there's a fail-safe pull tab here. You just pull it off and it'll pull off your material. To the right here, we have the same vacuum suction cup, but on a bracket. This bracket will make it hold, so it holds on to the Slab Trans Heavy Duty. If you need to add another one for any case, we do sell this whole assembly with the bracket already installed. Same features with the red line indicator, the pull tabs, the fail-safe tab there. And like I said, it includes a plastic case. One thing to note about suction cups, I know it says this one here carries 242 pounds. If you do not clean off your material and once in a while clean off your suction cup, doesn't matter what you're going to try to carry, it can fail. So be sure whenever using suction cups in general, not just a Rubi, but anyone in general, that you clean your material free of any dust, and from time to time clean your suction cups off, because that can create a what we call a bond breaker. The slab trolley, I remember back a few slides that said keep the crossbars in mind. Well, here's why we want to do that. The slab trolley works with our heavy duty transport. And also when you have these accessory guides attached to our Slim Easy Trans, you can also use this with our Slim Trolley. The reason we want to do that, well, it makes back butter in a breeze. I'll play a little video here. Showing you how the Slab Trolley works in conjunction with our Slab Trans Heavy Duty and our Slim Easy Trans, okay? It's got brake features here. You always want to use the brakes, apply the brakes with your feet. You don't want to use your hand because it can pinch your hand. We're going to lock those crossbars in place with the knobs. Okay, here we're installing a brand new Slab Trans Heavy Duty. Very easy to set up. As I said, it's completely toolless because we're using the hammerhead T screws. Okay, so you just turn in the knobs and you're locking it into place. We want to make sure that that T goes in straight, but then when we turn it, that it turns and locks in the position. So here we're moving a big 10-foot by 5 slab. We're leaning it up against the table, and we're just lifting it up with the slab trolley because it really doesn't weigh anything. It's made out of all aluminum. We can put it on its back for back buttering. We can put it down faceward so we can start cutting into it, our piece of slab, or we can leave it on the Slab Trans, on the slab trolley, and back butter our big piece of porcelain slab. Okay. As you saw in that last video, the slab table. Why is the slab table important? When we go to cut our porcelain slabs, it needs to be supported. Okay, I don't know if there's any of you out there that have ever done vinyl cove base. I have in my lifetime. What vinyl cove base does is it follows the wall. as we know, all walls aren't perfect, but when you install vinyl cove base and the homeowner or the business owner comes back and says, hey, it looks crooked, well, it's not the fault of the cove base, it's the fault of the wall because it just follows the imperfections. Same thing here with the gauge porcelain panels. If you have a plastic table will bounce. So when you go to score it, what's going to happen? It's going to follow that bounce. It's going to deflect, so we're not going to get a perfect score. So we need something that's stable and offers great support for our slabs. And here we have the slab table. One reference will get you one table. So in order to make the 10-foot long table, you need to order two reference numbers, but the maximum load capacity on our table is 551 pounds, okay? And the working height is 27, about almost 27 and a half inches. And that, I feel, gives us a great advantage in the market, because if you have a table that's 36 inches, now you have to fight to get your porcelain slab on the table, whereas this 27 and a half inches, you kind of just slide it on without any, without fighting the porcelain slab. You can just fix it on to your table. It's got an assembly, fast and easy fix connection. That's located right here. You can see my mouse. That'll join your two tables together. And down here, the feet are adjustable so you can level out your table. As we all know, every floor, every slab, every piece of concrete we walk in, it's not level. So the feet there are adjustable to get that level. So how do we cut it? As we saw in the first couple of slides, there are different thicknesses to this porcelain slab. In our slim cutter system, you get 3 rails in a bag, a scoring cart, but you also get a set of nippers here for the 3 to 6 millimeter. Now, if you have something that's greater than 6 millimeter, then we recommend our slim separator, which is good up to 15 millimeter. Here's the slim cutter system. Again, with the details, you get 3 guides. Each guide is about 39 inches, about a meter long. When you assemble it, you get up to 120 inches. So you can go up to the 10 feet desired. In fact, it sticks out just a little bit, and that's crucial when we get to our next cutting tool. And then we have the slim separator, which is sold separately, and I'll play the little video down here on how to use it. Now, how I tell people to use this is, it's kind of like you're trying to crack open a safe. It requires a lot of patience. The old school movies, how did they crack open a safe? They put the ear to the safe, they spun the dial little by little until they hear a click. The same operation here, okay? But first we're gonna score our tile, and we always back score because crescent tends to happen. And what tends to happen is we don't get a good score coming into our cut, and coming out to our cut, we tend to release pressure, so we're not getting a good score. What we want to hear is like we're ripping a piece of construction paper. Now on this, we're using the slim separator. We want the weights to be out as far as possible, okay? We want the line that we created to go through that triangle, and we're gonna just twist till we hear a pop. They're going a little too fast, but you can see here they're going a little slower. You don't want to go too fast because you can break it off into a crescent. You just want to go just slow, fast enough to where you can hear that pop. Once you hear that pop, you know you've got it broken on that side, and you can go to the other side and repeat the process. Other ways that we can cut, here we have the TC125. Okay, the TC125 offers us a way to cut wet and dry. Now, be aware that it has a bracket, built-in bracket, and it must be used with the cutter guides. It is not recommended to take the bracket off and use it as just a circular saw. Okay, We have an adapter back there, so you can use it wet, and we have a vacuum hose adapter, so you can use it dry. You can use them both at the same time if you need to. If you already have our slim cutter guides, our existing slim cutter system, you can just buy this separately and use it with the same guides. You'll need to purchase a whole kit, but we do offer a kit that comes with the TC125, the 3 rails, 2 suction cups, and the clamps that hold down your guides to your material. All right, so here we have, he's just showing everything that we have. We have the 2 suction cups. Same situation here with the suction cups. We want to make sure that we clean off the suction cups on our material so that the suction cups hold the guides down to your material, so that there's no issues. We're tightening the support rods down. There are rubber feet on the back end of this, so that the rubber feet also help from scraping, from the guide from scraping on your material, especially if you're working with something polished. So here we're adjusting the TC125 onto the guide rail. We're adjusting the depth. You could also do the plunge cutting with this. If you need to do a punch out for an electrical outlet or a niche for a bathroom, you can use this TC125. They're not the fastest cutting machine, but using the proper blade, it's going to leave you a great cut. The TC125 does take either a 4.5 inch or a 5-inch blade. You can use either or. For miter cutting, we do recommend our 2-in-1 ECD blade, and the reason that is if you use our VIP blade or a Venom blade, they're about 2 millimeters in thickness, and that's anything 2 millimeters and under is not recommended for miter cutting. So that's why I recommend the 2-in-1 ECD blade. That is sold separately, but get in contact with me and we can work something out. I can even, if I'm nice enough, or you're nice enough to me, I could send you one free of charge so you can try out. All right, so it does have 1250 watts, okay, and it does do miter cutting. Here is the example of a cut. What's the smallest that you can go? Well, it depends on where you can get that guide to be stable and the suction cups to be down on your material. Here we're changing the blade. Okay, we're about to do a miter cut with this. Now we're going to use a regular porcelain blade to do the mitering. As I stated, the blade that comes on there, the VIP and the Venom, they're less than 2 millimeters. And when we do a miter, we want to use it wet. In my opinion, wetter is always better. It's never going to hurt to use something wet on these porcelain slabs. Here we see the finish with the TC125. Just keep that in mind. Wetter is always better. Even if you can use it dry, great. But it never hurts to use water. Even with our diamond blades and diamond drill bits that you can use dry, doesn't mean you always have to use them dry. You can use them wet. Okay. So we talked about the gauge porcelain tools. Here we have the Delta leveling system. Okay, you may have seen this before from other companies. We like to play nice, and you can use their wedges with our clips and our clips with their wedges. But what sets us apart from the other companies is our clips are reinforced plastic. Okay. And if you look down here, I don't know if you can see down here at the bottom, there's a 45-degree angle. That's a patent by Rubi. Because of that 45-degree angle, we have the lowest break failure at the base because of this little adjustment that we made, okay? We have 4 sizes available. I got 3 here, but the gray one is 1/32. The white clear one is 1/16. We have a black one now, that's 3/32, and this red one here is 1/8. The other thing that sets us apart is the wedges that we use. The wedges are made of fiberglass, okay? We also have a wider base. Those adjustments, which may be minor, add up to a whole sum of parts, this total that we're not going to have much breaking when we have the wedges. In fact, with the reinforced fiberglass, we're not going to have much bend at all. And using these correctly, that wider base is going to push your tile down into your mud. Now, this leveling system is not a shortcut. It's not a shortcut by any means of installation. You still need to use the proper installation methods, meaning if the floor is out of level, you got to level out the floor. This is just an anti-lippage tuning system that'll help you get your tiles nice and flat. Okay. We also introduced the new pliers, which are fast fix, and they work on a ratchet system. And I'm going to play a video here showing you how it works. Skip through to the 1 minute mark. Oh, here we go. So here we can see the fast fix feature on the pliers for the Delta leveling system. Okay. Now, as you can see, it ratchets it in and out quite easily. The old ones, you need to use a wing nut in order to move it in or out, which could be irritating at times. And for your thumbs, I know my thumbs suffered through it. So I'm really glad we have these fast fix pliers. Here we have some 1/32 clips going on. Now, I know we're not using mud, but this is just to give you an example of how it works. Now, what you don't see here, and what people should know, is that I know a lot of you guys have OCD and you want the wedges to go one way, but there is a method to the madness. When you use the clips, you want to put the wedges on the side that's sitting higher than the next tile. When you use it that way, you're going to ensure that that tile that's sitting higher, that fat base, that wide base on the wedge is going to push that tile down into your mud. Now we're just going to use our fast fix pliers to finish using the clip and finish using the Delta leveling system. As I stated before, there's other brands out there. We like to play nice, and you can use their clips with our wedges and our wedges with their clips. So how do you take them off? The next day, you can kick them off, or you can take a rubber mallet and just go with the grain. As long as you go with the grain, you're going to have a nice clean rip. If you go against the grain, then those clips are going to be impacted the wrong way. They're going to rip, and they're going to be left in your grout joint. So as long as you're going with the grain of the grout joint, you should have no problem. Now, I'm going to end that here. And Vincent, if you have anything to add, let me know. No, nothing to add? All right.
No.
Okay. So next, we have new products. What's new with Rubi? We pride ourselves in innovating and engineering and manufacturing our own designing and manufacturing our own products. We're very excited to launch a US brand style of saws. As many of you guys know us as the Bridge Saw Company, but most of you have asked for tabletop saws. We did hear you out, and we have come up with these new saws. I'm going to start at the very beginning with our ND Ready. This is available now. So the ND Ready has a stainless steel table here, okay, that can tilt up, and there's plastic guides down there that will let you hold it at a 22.5 or 45-degree angle, okay? The detachable rear table allows for straight cuts up to 24 inches in length. It's got extruded aluminum lateral stop. Now, the thing with this lateral stop is you do have to make sure you're on point here. You also have to check the bag to make sure that you're 100% on point, okay? The transparent splash guard. As long as you have this transparent splash guard pushed down onto your material, you're not going to have a lot of water. Okay, they send me all these saws that they've sent me to try out personally, and I've tried it inside my home, so I can speak to you how much water retaining or how much splashing it does. And with this ND ready and the next one coming up, I feel sure enough to let you know that you can use these inside. There's not a lot of a splash that goes on. As long as you have that splash guard down, it's incredible how much water it retains, right? The water tank is down here. It does have the non-slip rubber feet for greater stability, and it comes with the 7-inch laser cut blade. Some of the specifics for this, you're looking at 4.8 amps, which is 3,450 RPMs. The cutting length is 20. You can do a little bit more, but you're going to need maybe an extra set of hands. Diagonal cutting, 13 inches. And the cutting height, you're looking at 1.25 inches. And the miters, you're looking at 7/8 of an inch. It does come with a cord, 6 feet. It does come with tools to fix your blade, to change your blade. But if you're looking for more features on something this small, on this tabletops, on this, I want to say countertop saw, because this is mostly going to be used for backsplashes or maybe some residential stuff in the bathroom. We have the ND Max, which is already at our port, but available and coming in July. It's got a machined aluminum table. For those that are familiar with our DC250, when I picked this up myself, it felt like I was picking up a DC250. It's strong, it's heavy, it feels heavy duty. It has the same thing. The table tilts up where you can get your 22.5 and 45-degree miter cuts. Here's the table here. I mean the detachable rear table that'll help support your 24-inch rip. So you can rip 24 inches by yourself, and you don't have to worry about your piece of material falling off the table or not being supported. It's got a self-aligning 16-inch extruded aluminum fence. Okay, unlike the other one with the ND ready, you only have to look at where you want to set this at. So if you want to set it at, let's say, 7 inches, you only have to look at the front. You don't have to adjust it in the back. In fact, there's no ruler back here to let you know. Okay, because once you set it here at let's say 7 inches again, it's going to be at 7 inches down the line. So you don't have to worry about adjusting it back here at all. It's got a soft slip aluminum angle guide here. So if you need to cut it at an angle, you just adjust this little angle guide here and put your material in there, and you push it through. It's got the same transparent splash guard. It does come with the same laser cut 7-inch blade. What I like about it is you can't see it here, but on this side is storage for your tools to change the blade. And on this opposite side is storage for your plug, so you can put it away. Right? It is 1 horsepower. Excuse me. I want to say 1.5 because, like I said, it reminds me of the DC250. The cutting length is 24, and the diagonal cutting length is 13. Cutting height, same, 1.25, and the miter is 7/8 of an inch. It weighs roughly about 27 pounds. As I said, I put these to the test. I did a backsplash for my cousin. I put it in her kitchen, and I was impressed with the water containment on this thing. And the way the water tank works, you can never overfill it with water because there is a hole in the water plug that once you overfill it initially, it'll just drain out. Okay, so you don't have to worry about overfilling this with water. Next up, we have the DCX 250. Okay, this is if our popular DC 250 and our DX 250 had a baby, it came up with this thing here. We got two models, a 61-inch rip and a 49-inch rip. The 61 rips of 43 in diagonal, the 49 rips 35 in diagonal without plunge cut. With plunge cut, you can add 3 inches to the maximum cutting length. Okay, so you start, it says 61, you start with the plunge, you can do a 64. It's got a powerful 2 horsepower motor. The DC 250 has 1.5. This is a 2 horsepower motor. Our patented Python water spray comes on this DCX. And if you look here circled, we have it right here. Okay, so you're literally spraying water right at the disc at the point of contact with your material. That's crucial in keeping your blade cool. You can move it, you can adjust it. There's an adjustment, you can have it up here. In fact, when you get it, that's where it will be at. You can make it where it comes down here at the point of contact, and that's where we want to keep it always. We don't want to keep it up here, because if we keep it up here, then we're just cooling down the blade up here. We want to keep it down there, so we're keeping the point of contact cool. Okay. It also comes with our Rubi Zero Dust. Not in the picture, but back here there'll be a splash guard, kind of like a mud flap off of a semi truck with horsehair. And what happens is when the water hits that horsehair, it doesn't create a mist. It just dissipates into that horsehair. If we were just to have that splash guard there, the rubber splash guard, it'll hit that splash guard and it'll create mist, and you'll still see mist coming out the back. With the horsehair back there, you don't have to worry about misting, okay? Now, as you may notice, we have an external water tank. The external water tank is there to collect all the water. So when you remove the tables here, you'll see kind of like a pinball machine. The water will come and it'll flow diagonally down into, finally when it gets back here, and it drains down into the water tank. So all the sediment will be here because it has too much to travel. It'll just stay here, and then you'll have clean water. It's got a reinforced aluminum chassis with the triple beam system and steel sides. As you notice, the legs are heavier duty than our DC 250, our DX 250, or even our DX 350, which is a 3 horsepower motor. You still have the ability to plunge and miter cut. It does have telescopic transport handles and reinforced wheels. So let's say you got to travel over a little bit of dirt. You can easily do that with this DCX. All right, horsepower as explained is 2. The RPM setting is 2750 to 3350 on these machines. When is it available? Available in August. The only thing different that we liked about our DC is that it's 130 pounds. This is a little heavier, but it's also a better built machine. You may need 2 people to take it on and off your truck or your van, but you're getting a more better, a rigid machine. Now, we had the DT 250 a couple years ago, and we decided to discontinue that because, just to be transparent with you and honest with you, it's not something that was designed or made by Rubi. So servicing that and getting parts for that, you know, it would make us mad, but also make our end users mad. So we discontinued that, and we designed our own DT 10-inch. It does cut 36 inches on an initial rip. With the plunge cutting, though, you can get 40. 25 inches on a square tile on a diagonal. It's got a powerful 15-amp motor. It's got that same Python water spray that we talked about on the DCX. And here you can see the mud flap with the horsehair inside that catches all the mist. We have a patented ratchet system down here. Once you build the stand, it does have wheels, but this whole thing, once you have to remove the water trays, but this whole thing will collapse into the legs, into the stand, so you don't have to keep taking it off and on. And with our patented ratchet lock, it's going to lock into place. And once you get used to it, without looking, you just kick up on this lock press here, and it'll disengage, and you can unfold your DT 10-inch. It's got a large 5-gallon water tub. Same thing with the DCX. It's got a couple stories, like a building. You want to think of it like a building. It's got a couple stories to go down and get through. So by the time the water gets back to the water pump, which is on this side, you have clean water again. It's got filters. The sediment will stay on the table. All right. So we can work with clean water or cleaner water. Not pictured because it's on the opposite side. We have on-off switch to turn your DT 10-inch on. We also have a water pump on-off switch. So if you just want to run it dry, because you have a dry blade, you can turn the water pump off. You have a feature you can leave the water pump on running while your saw is off. That way, just to continuously get clean water through the water pump. Or you can just leave it on the setting when you turn on your DT 10-inch, it turns on. When you turn it off, it turns off. We do have a magnetic tool storage back here. That's to change the blade. And we have other patents on this, such as the rollers on this table. We have 4 rollers on each side. That's going to come in handy later down the line. We also have this pivot point here on top. If you see this pivot point on top, most of the other saws, you have to turn it to adjust the plunge depth of your machine. This is just a pin. You just remove the pin, lock it to the place you need it to, push the pin back down, and you're good to go. So you don't have to keep turning knobs. The water, you can take the motor off the water tubs to make it easier for cleaning. When you do fold this away, the water trays, the rear water tray and the side water tray actually fit in the back. There's straps, elastic straps along this machine, so you can strap it in. And it takes one person to get it on and off your pickup truck, your van. I have a Ford Explorer that I take it in and out of. Again, they sent me a sample of this, and I was amazed by the water containment that I got from this DT 10-inch. I placed it about 35 inches from my wall, and I could have put my TV back there, and it wasn't going to get any water or dust. In fact, I could have put my iPad here on the rear water tray, and it's not going to get water or dust. I was amazed by how much water containment this thing has. But this is something designed and made by Rubi. So getting spare parts for this is not going to be an issue. I'm always going to have stuff down at a Miami warehouse. You just get in contact with me and I'll hook you up. When is this going to be available? We're looking at October 2021. That's the furthest date that it's going to be available. So by October 2021, we will have them ready to ship out to you. We'll have a new leveling system. You might have seen these on the market as well from different brands. No tool required, but this is something we also make in-house, and it's compatible with the other products. We will have 1/32, 1/16, 3/32, and 1/8. Again, they'll be all color coordinated. They'll come in bags of 100 or 300 and boxes of 2400. All right, and we'll also have cyclone kits for 1/16 and 1/8. And now these are for tiles that are up from 3 millimeters up to 8 millimeters thick. The caps are reusable. We're looking at the end of summer to have these come out. We are just waiting on we're just waiting on manufacturing a plastic protectors so they can protect your tile so it doesn't stain or smudge your tile. So I mean, the cyclone is ready to go. We're just waiting on that protective screen. We have a new mixer coming out called the Super Torque, 1800 watts with 2 mechanical speeds, RPM settings, 450 and 780. This is great for adhesive resins, paints, and other materials. It comes with our infamous M14 threaded connection paddle with the Helix design. It's got extra brushes and tools in the box, so you can use a regular. It's got a chuck, so you can use you could thread that chuck in and use any kind of regular spinner for your Super Torque. It's got an anti-ignition security system. It doesn't start until you want it to. And it does have an adjustable speed setting, so you can start off slow and end slow, or you can gradually increase your speed. This is available July 2021. Now, we talked about the Slim Cutter earlier. We do have an upgraded version called the Slim Cutter Plus coming out in July 2021. We will have an improved carrying case. We will have an improved scoring cart with a more ergonomic handle, okay, and an improved nipper. Now, it went from 2 nippers to 1, but if our slim separator and our regular nipper had a baby, this is what we come out with, and you only need 1. Like I said, when using the slim separator, you use one side, you spin until you hear a pop. Same situation with this. You spin until you hear a pop. You can go down to the other end and do it, or you can just keep going down, spinning it down until you get a full break. That's up to you. I recommend doing one side and then going to the other to do so. Now, the Slim Cutter Plus will have 4 total guides, and that's so that we make sure we have enough space coming in and out when we're using our TC125. We want to make sure we have at least 10 inches before we start our cut with the TC125 and when we leave our cut with the TC125. We've also included a 3rd suction cup. I have fought for that for you guys. I know 2 was not enough, so I fought to get 3, and they finally approved that. And we got a 3rd suction cup to hold the rails down. Again, this is available in July. Blades. I'll go ahead and talk about the thicker first. The thicker, this is more for your hardscape, for 2 centimeter exterior pavers, available in a 10-inch, 12-inch, and 14-inch. You could also use it for thick tiles, marble, and granite. This will be available in August. It is a segmented blade. It is pretty fast, and the finish of it is very, very, very good. Like I said, they give me the stuff to try at home. I was super impressed with this. One of the issues that people in the hardscape industry have is they don't have anything, we don't offer any kind of blades for them. This is the blade that will suit them and will do everything that they need to do for their hardscape, whether it's a punch out cut with plunge or a miter cut. Next up, we have the Arrowhead Turbo. We have an Arrowhead, but we have new sizes for it, a 7-inch and 10-inch. We totally redesigned it so it could be a faster turbo blade, and it's ideal for that hard material. But also you can do the marble and quartz with it, and you can use it wet or dry. And down below, we have the Red Cobra. It's a continuous blade with reinforced center core. This looks familiar. It's because it was our Venom blade. We have redesigned it just a little bit, and we have renamed it the Red Cobra. We also made 2 new sizes, 8-inch and 12-inch. Before it was only 4, 4.5, 7, and 10, but now we have the 8 and 12. All these blades available in August. Well, that was it for me today. I want to give thanks to Jeff and the EJ Welch team for letting us have this day to freshen you up on some of our existing products, but also show you our new products. We were just in Las Vegas for the Surface event. We will be at Coverings next week. So for anyone in the Southeast part of the country, more than welcome to come join us at Coverings. Come and see our new products live and in person. Test them out yourself. I mean, we won't have it electrically available for testing, but you can play with the tray and see what we're all about. Okay, make sure you hit our website and download our new catalog for 2021. It's totally free. If you have any questions, I will be taking those now. So let's see. Charlie, are there any questions off the top?
Yes, we have one question, and they're asking us about, from the consumer standpoint, when should a contractor consider the DCX saw over the DC or the DX?
Size and length. Like I said, 49 inches and 61 inches. The DC 250 right now is 47 and 11/16, I want to say, but with the plunge cut, it does the full 48. And then the horsepower comes into play. The DC 125, the DC 250 is a 1.5 horsepower machine, and the DCX will be a 2 horsepower machine. So to give it that extra boost, it will run on the same 15 and 20 amps like the DC 250. And of course the frame itself, it's reinforced and it's a lot better than the DC 250, even though I'm a huge fan of the DC 250 the way it is.
All right, and now there was a quick question we already answered on the chat, but they were asking us if the TC125 comes with the blade included.
It does come with a blade included. Now I'm going to be honest, it's not my favorite blade. So I do offer upgrades on the blade. So if you do purchase the TC125, and you're not, I don't want to say if you're unhappy with the quality of the blade, but it's just the nature of a fast moving machine with that blade. It's gonna leave a good cut. But if you're gonna use a miter, use it on a miter. Like I said, it's less than 2 millimeters, and so it's not recommended that you do a miter with that blade.
All right, and it looks like those were all the questions on the chat. We don't know if there's anyone that wants to do or say a quick question. Also, we're in the question sessions right now, but so far we've answered everything that there was questioned.
All right, well, Jeff, I want to thank you again. Thank you to everyone who participated. This is Hector signing off. Jeff, I don't know if you want to sign off on this or not, but.
Sure. Hector, great job. A lot of good stuff here. Everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your EJ rep. And then if the reps have questions, please feel free to reach out to Hector and he can help you out with those questions directly. Mm-hmm. Once again, thanks a lot. And if you're at Coverings next week, feel free to stop by the Rubi booth and see all the good stuff they have coming out.
All right. All right. Thanks, Jeff. And thanks everyone out there.